Hey there. If you're a new parent, you are probably swimming in a sea of new experiences, right? And one of the biggest, and let's be honest, one of the most worrying, is spit up. So today, we're going to break down infant reflux. We'll figure out what's totally normal from what's not, and give you some really clear, practical advice. Okay, let's jump right in.
This is the question, isn't it? Especially when you're on your third outfit change before 10 a.m. You see that milk coming back up and you just can't help but think, is this okay? Is something wrong? And I want to start by saying that is a completely normal and valid thing to worry about.
So what is actually going on here? Well, the fancy medical term is gastroesophageal reflux. It sounds super complicated, I know, but it's not. It's really just a simple plumbing issue. Imagine the little valve between your baby's throat and their tummy. It's still new, still developing, so it doesn't always close up perfectly tight. And that lets milk flow back up. That's it. It's a mechanical thing, not a sign you're doing anything wrong.
And just how common is this little plumbing issue? Well, get this, a full 50% of babies experience it. That's 1 out of every 2 babies spitting up on the regular. So this isn't some rare condition. It's an incredibly normal part of being a tiny new human. If you feel like it's just you and your washing machine against the world, I promise you are in very good company.
And this brings us to my absolute favorite term, the happy spitter. This is the key to understanding simple reflux. A happy spitter, well, they spit up. But other than that, they're totally fine. They're comfortable, they're content, they're growing. The spit up might be a laundry nightmare for you, but for them, it's not a medical problem at all.
So, let's dig into this happy spitter idea a little more. How do you tell the difference between simple, harmless reflux and something you should actually be concerned about? How do you know for sure which camp your baby is in? Well, the answer is all in how your baby acts.
Okay, check out this comparison. On the left, you've got your happy spitter. They bring up a little milk, but they're still gaining weight. They're generally pretty chill. They're happy. Now, the baby on the right is where we need to pay more attention. Are they miserable after eating? Crying, screaming, arching their back in pain? Are they pushing the bottle away or just not gaining weight? That's when reflux stops being just a simple laundry issue.
So, let's say you've decided, yep, I've got a happy spitter on my hands. What can you actually do about it? The great news is there are a ton of simple, super effective things you can start doing at home, like right now.
It all really comes down to 2 things, gravity and being gentle. So after a feed, try to avoid a lot of bouncing or really active play. Just let their little tummies settle. Keep them upright for about half an hour. You can just hold them or pop them in a carrier. When it is time to lay them down, propping up the head of the cot just a little bit can work wonders. Oh, and a little tip, laying them on their left side can actually help with digestion too.
How you feed your baby can matter just as much as what you do afterwards. See, a really full stomach is just more likely to overflow. So you could try giving smaller feeds a little more often. And if that's not quite cutting it, you can talk to your doctor about maybe thickening their milk. There are special formulas or additives out there that make the milk a bit heavier so it's harder to bring back up. But please, always check with a professional before you go down that road.
Okay, we need to shift gears for a minute and talk about what is, without a doubt, the most important part of this whole conversation, knowing when simple reflux crosses that line into something that really does need a doctor's attention. These are the red flags you never want to ignore. Let's walk through these. Any choking or trouble swallowing is an immediate call. Same goes for any weird colors in the vomit, like green or any sign of blood. Projectile vomiting, I'm talking forceful, shoots across the room stuff. That's different than a little spit up. And like we said before, if your baby is just inconsolable after eating, refusing to eat, or not gaining weight, those are major signs. Even things like being constantly fussy or having a hoarse little voice can be a clue. If you see any of this, it's time to call the doctor.
So why is it so important to act on those red flags? Because in those more severe cases, untreated reflux can cause real problems. The acid can lead to something called esophagitis, which is a painful inflammation in the throat. It can affect their growth, and in really rare cases cause lung issues if milk is inhaled. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you, but to empower you, so you know when it's time to get help.
But here's the most reassuring part of all this. Even if it turns out your baby's reflux is severe, there is a clear path forward. There are tests doctors can run to see exactly what's going on, and there are safe, effective medications that can help neutralize that acid and give your baby and you some real relief. You are not out of options.
So what does the future look like? Well, whether you've got a happy spitter or a baby who needs a little more medical support, I've got good news. The outlook is overwhelmingly positive.
Think of this timeline as the light at the end of the tunnel. Reflux is, for almost everyone, a temporary phase. As soon as your baby starts eating solid foods, which are heavier and stay down better, things start to improve. As their little muscles get stronger and they learn to sit up on their own, that valve at the top of their stomach gets stronger too. For most babies, reflux is just a memory by their first birthday.
All right, let's do a super quick recap of the most important things. Number 1, reflux is normal, super common. Number 2, small tweaks to how you hold and feed your baby can make a huge difference. 3, gravity is your best friend. Keep that little head up. 4, this will pass, I promise, usually by the 12 to 18-month mark. And 5, the big one, know those red flags and trust your gut. If you're worried, make the call.
You just took in a ton of information, I know, but knowledge really is power. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's one simple thing you can do right now to feel a little more in control? Maybe it's just holding your baby upright for an extra 5 minutes after their next feed. Or maybe it's just taking a deep breath and feeling reassured that all this spit up is probably okay. Whatever it is, you've got this. Thanks so much for joining me.